Hello everybody and welcome to your messages for the week of Monday the 19th of February through to Sunday the 25th of February 2018. I'm Rose, it's lovely to have you here. So as always I'm going to use my elemental spread just to look at the energies for the 5 elements of our life and the various areas. So to start off with this week in the spiritual area, we have the card of the Hermit, and it gives me the impression that to regularly spiritually replenish ourselves, we may need to become that hermit and tuck ourselves away a little bit. I'm being given a bit of a contradiction in this as well, in that what I often see with this lamp on the Hermit is that he is so wise and learnt so much that people often come to him and see him as a guiding light, and as you can see, it almost looks as though he's waiting for people to arrive if you look at the card in that way. So what I feel spiritually this week is we may have people also coming to us seeking our knowledge, asking us about things, generally needing our help, but I feel that in order to keep ourselves replenished and the cup full, we may need to set some boundaries there and make sure that we take that time to step back and reconnect with our own source. The Hermit can be very much about reconnecting with ourselves. So there are various ways of connecting spiritually. We can connect to source, we can connect to nature. But I feel the element with this is checking in with ourselves and connecting into our own spirit to fill that well this week. So the next part is energetically, where our energies may lie this week. Now what I always see in this card, this is the 9 of Pentacles. And to me, the figure in this card is in complete control. 9s can be where we're just on the verge of the end of a cycle, we're nearly there. So that's one message I'd like to deliver. But I don't know about yourselves, but the last couple of weeks with all the eclipse energy that's been going on, I have felt absolutely buffeted by stuff. It's almost like I felt there's been a lot of stuff coming at me. So I don't know if you've felt the same way, and it's almost like I've not been in control of it. So what I would actually hope to see, if you've been feeling that way yourselves, particularly over the last couple of weeks, is that this week we are getting back into some kind of feeling of control over our own energy, rather than possibly being open to what is being thrown at us. So I want to use the word buffeted, as though we might have been buffeted energetically. There might have been, our own stuff that's coming up and we've not been able to control it. We've just had to work with it and deal with it. So I'm getting that, almost that sense of a calmer time and more control of our actual energy. So I'm hoping to see that things are calming down slightly, where we've been sort of buffeted about a little bit. The next card is the emotional element. What I'm getting with this card is it's almost a sense of no holds barred where the emotions are concerned. So whether we've got stuff coming up that we need to release, whether we're able to speak our feelings more clearly, or, it's almost like it feels like there's no guard over that. We're just allowing our emotions free rein with whatever comes, saying what we're feeling, saying what we're thinking. I also get the impression with this card that he's actually moving away from something as well. So it feels like whatever we've needed to deal with recently, I feel is just, we're starting to see signs of it shifting out. Where we've maybe needed to feel like we've had to contain it or just deal with it, and then there's another thing. I feel that there's almost like a big whoosh of release, as I say, where those feelings and emotions are concerned this week. Next card is Air, so this concerns our mental, our mind, learning, teaching, anything in that realm. And this week we have the Devil. So immediately I get the word self-saboteur. Now the symbolism of the devil is, it can be our unconscious behaviour, it can be habits that we have, it can be a little bit of being in the dark with something. So he tends to creep up on us, or his energy creeps up on us when we're in a cycle or a habit that we are not conscious of. And one of the key phrases for the devil is self-saboteur. So because we're in the mind, what I would suggest this week is to watch where our minds are in terms of this kind of self-saboteur. If we're feeling prevented from moving forward in any way, is there a part of ourselves that is preventing us from doing that? And particularly because we're in the mind element, is our mind giving us messages in a subconscious and habitual way that are preventing us from going forward? And then I feel we need to come back to that hermit again of reconnecting with ourselves and saying, what's going on here? And just being with ourselves and just observing what's going on in our minds, in our bodies, energetically, emotionally. So kind of coming back to that restorative hermit energy so that we can reconnect with our inner spirit and our I'm being given inner purpose, and why did I get onto this path in the first place? So why am I trying to prevent myself? It probably came from source and spirit and enthusiasm and inspiration. So why am I trying to prevent myself from going forward? So particularly watch the messages from the mind in this week. Okay. And this is the earth element. So again, I want to key it in with this one a little bit. There may be actual physical gatherings, connections with people on the earth plane. These could be celebratory, these could be meetings, but watch where our energy is. So for example, if we have a day that is just meeting after meeting after meeting, maybe the next day should be hermit, 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 to step back, to regroup, to reconnect with ourselves. Again, it is a way of gaining control of our own energy, and it's a way of seeing where we are. It's a way that connects us into releasing what we need to release. So as I say, in an earthy way, there could be actual physical people coming towards us, connecting with us. We might need to have meetings, we might have friends that we want to connect with, but don't forget to replenish that energy. So the overview for this week is the Four of Pentacles. Now, fours in tarot are often still points. So we've got this with the Hermit. This particular four, I often think of him as being the miser of the tarot. You can see that he's a king or a prince there. He's got lots of money, but he's holding on to it very tightly. Now I'm getting a very kind of centering theme with this, so I don't necessarily want to use the miser analogy, but I feel like the theme with this week is knowing when to give out our resources and knowing when to pull them back. So I feel there's a little bit of a balancing act. I'm getting a sense of alignment with him and centeredness, and I feel it's about keeping ourselves aligned with our truth, what makes us feel good, what makes us feel in control, as much as we can be anyway, which is the reality of it. There are certain things we can control, certain things we can't. So I just get that sense of balance and alignment with him. It may be necessary to hold on when we're tempted to give. It may be necessary to cancel meetings and things where we are expected to participate on a physical level. It's not always easy to do that. We do tend to kind of keep going and out of duty and things like that. But if you feel that you want to go into hermit mode to replenish your spirit, I would suggest following yourself this week. So I feel there's almost a sense, not so much of a miser with this, but certainly the sense I feel of gathering resources, pulling things in. This all feels like it might be connected to things that are going on outside of ourselves as well. Although the mind might have a part to play with the saboteur, there might be things coming forward in the outside world that are evoking that within us, or making us feel like we're not good enough or anything. Like we might be getting mirrors and reflections of that. So again, the key is to go back to that hermit, to connect to our own spirit, to connect to our own center. So that's the feeling that I'm getting with that. Okay, so it's been a pleasure as always. I hope that that reading makes some kind of sense to you and is helpful to you as you journey through the week. And lots of love, blessings and light to you all, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.